Hi, my name is Larissa Lelis. I'm a master's student in physical education at the Federal University of Viçosa in Brazil. I'm a member of the Lab of Olympic and Sociocultural Studies of Sport, coordinated by Professor Dayara Silva dos Santos. Today, I will present a study that is part of my master research intitulated Racing Beneath the Rings, the Instrumentalization of Anti-Olympic Movements and Narratives. This research is supervised by Professor Dayara Silva dos Santos. The creator of the modern Olympic Games, the novice Frenchman Pierre de Coubertin, proposed the internationalization of a sports competition every 4 years to be held in different cities around the world, as a celebration of ideas of peace and international understanding, with an ideological apparatus that spread throughout the 20th century and circulates to these days. The recognized Olympic movement that strengthened itself games for games. In recent decades, research has shown that Olympic Games operate not only as a sport event, but also as economy, territorial, and symbolic process. These processes often go behind the sport itself and directly affect local population, reshaping cities according to state and corporate interest as discussed by Boykov. This imagining this illustrates this dynamic through the case of Vila Autódromo in Rio de Janeiro during 26 Olympic Games, where forced remove occurred in the name of urban development linked to the event. This context helps us understand how the Olympic can generate social conflicts and resistance, which is central to discussing of this research. It is in this scenario of growing questioning that anti-Olympic movement gain global visibility, problematizing the distance between the values proclaimed by the Olympic Games and its impact materials and naming new forms of social resistance and knowledge production. Through the Olympic movement, has become established on the world calendar, its history is constantly traversed by opposition that puts its ideal and achievements to test. As we can see on the map, opposition to the Olympics is not an isolated or local phenomenon. Instead, it appears across different regions and political contexts, including cities such as Vancouver, Rio de Janeiro, London, Paris, Tokyo, and Boston, among others. So, an organized civil social movement of international scope fighting against the continuing of the Olympic Games and anti-Olympic activists that emerged in Los Angeles in 2017, and has been expanded proposed not only that the American city not host the games, but the end of this mega sport event itself. Then Olympics LA is my focus of study in this research. The movement originated within the DSA, Democratic Socialists of America, and has formed by local activists, researchers, residents of vulnerable areas, and housing rights advocates. No Olympics has a digital sports platform to strengthen its agenda, engage with society, and connect with other movements. This study helps to analyze the Olympics website, specifically the Olympics syllabus section, understand the possible perspectives that the organization used to form and organize the movement that is engaged in the organization's issues of interest. This is a qualitative and descriptive study, and the website nolympicsla.com has used it for the analysis, specifically the Olympics syllabus sections. This is an initial image from the website opening page. Now the results and the discussion. The movement No Olympics LA operates through the dialogue and converse with other social movements, addressing issues directly linked to Olympic Games, such as gentrification, violence of rights, militarization, as well as broader concepts like corruption and access to public service. Behind the opposition, Non-Olympic also proposed alternatives forms of social organization incorporating values and principles aimed at building a more just future society if these proposals remain lodged utopia. The Olympic Syllabus is a study program on the Olympic Games. It gathers and systematic evidence that supports the analysis and instrumentalization of organizational strategies to fight against the games and for a better city. There is theoretical basis and the practical example for structuring protests wherever the Olympic Games take place, showing the search for cohesion of a transnational resistance movement. Olympic announces on this website. We hope this will be useful for professors, students, reading groups, and organized and activists. Through the page, NoLimp has organized its program into four parts. First, Olympic roots. Second, the capitalist games. The third, the movement to abolish the Olympic Games. And fourth, additional research. There are links to digital materials, including scientific articles, books, video films, blogs, and journalist contents. Now you can see a part of this material. In the first topic, called Olympic roots, it is subdivided into two sections. The Olympic Games have their roots in white supremacy, imperialism, racism, sexism, ableism, classism, and elitism, and have always faced resistance. And the Olympic Games are built around war, not peace, and have always been political. In this topic, we find 11 materials. The materials analyzed include works by different actors, mainly Julius Baikoff, and the productions from Olympics LA, converge on a critical understanding. For Olympians, the Olympic Games have consolidated themselves as a phenomenon that reproduces hegemonic power structures. The reference show that the modern Olympic Games, considered by Pierre de Coubertin, did not emerge as a neutral fight of universal celebration, but incorporated values associated with the white supremacy, Eurocentrism, and elite logic. It's evident that the Olympic Games have always been linked to political, military, and ideological disputes, contradicting the official discourse of political neutrality defended by the IOC. For example, the Games in 1936 in Berlin served as a propaganda for the Nazi regime, as evidence. The second topic is called Capitalist Games. This is the section with the large number of subtopics and diversity of materials, specifically 60 materials, addressing their consequences such as gentrification, militarization, and the exploitation of people and the environment. For the Olympics, the Olympic Games have been co-opted by capitalist logic, transforming into instruments of economic valorization masked by discourse of celebration among people. The so-called celebration of capitalism transformed the event into a lucrative showcase for corporates and governments, while socialism risks and privacy against. At the same time, narratives of Olympic success and legacy mask social inequalities and the real estate speculation turning the development into city branding rather than inclusive urban change. Mega events expand policy and surveillance, turning host cities into Olympic fortresses and normalizing exceptional security missions that often target vulnerable populations. These policies are closely linked to gentrification, evictions, and social distancing, displacing poor communities, migrants, informal work, and homeless people. At the same time, the games operate through an extractive logic, affecting both people and environments. Indigenous territories, ecosystems, athletes, volunteers, and essential workers sustain the Olympic spectacle under precarious conditions, while profits remains concentrated at the top of the Olympic structure. The third topic, the movement to abolish the Olympic Games, the destructive phase of the Olympic legacy, are present, mainly financial and political. From a financial and political perspective, the Olympic industry is sustained by corporate and media interests that benefit from maintaining the status quo, while host cities absorb social and financial costs. This reveals a structural imbalance in which profits are privatized and losses are collected. At the international level, cases of sexual abuse in Olympic sport expose how impunity and concentration of power are reproduced within federations and committees, showing that these problems are systematic rather than exceptional. Finally, the repeat pattern of broken promises from London to Rio de Janeiro demonstrates how legacies enunciate as housing, infrastructure, and accessibility often results in evictions, speculation, and abandonment, reinforcing the call to fundamentally question the Olympic model. Now, another perspective beyond the reform, the transnational resistance. Critical schools and movements like No Olympics argue that internal reforms are insufficient because the IOC institutional structures consistently privilege elites and corporate interests. From these perspectives, the games are presented as necessary for the public good, as they tend to reproduce how harder than social benefits. These images show how resistance to mega event has become international and coordinated, with mobilizations in cities such as Tokyo, Hamburg, and Los Angeles. These movements connect local struggles to a global critique, linking gentrification, greenwashing, secularization, and environmental injustice. In this sense, initiatives like Olympics and Rare frame the Olympics not an isolated event, but as part of a global system of neoliberal urbans, which helps explain the growing call to challenge the Olympic model itself. Now the last topic, at the end of the page, the Olympics structures a network of participation that's not limited to the critics, but also guides possible practices of political engagement, indications of how to get involved, contact the organization, follow its digital platforms, or join tenant unions and anti-capitalist groups, serve as tool of mobilization and education. The availability of additional research in multiple languages covering topics such as spectacular secularization, gentrification, urban liberalization, and the social special impacts of mega events, reinforcing the educational character of the movement. Thus, the material analyzed and reviewed as strategies that combines structural critics, knowledge productions, and the active incorporate of new participants. Now, the final considerations. The analysis of the Olympic syllabus reveals that the movement consolidates a transnational narrative of opposition to the Olympic Games, articulating local experience of urban violence, eviction, securitization, and international abuse with global debates on capitalism, colonialism, and inequality, connecting academies, students, journalists' reports, media reproductions, and collective actions. The material highlights how political pedagogy oriented towards the construction of international solidarities. Despite its organizational strength and capacity to articulate global resistance, the Olympics also face internal risks that need to be critically considered. The defense of the total abolition of the Games, although mobilizing, can take on utopia counters that wind the construction of concrete and immensely viable alternatives. So there is a danger that these movements, by gaining international visibility, will reproduce a symbolic logic similar to that of the Olympic movement itself, transforming itself into a myth of protest more recognized for its rhetoric than for its material effectiveness. In this sense, the critical suggests that without practical and sustainable strategies behind denunciation, the Olympics risk becoming fixed has a higher visible political gesture, but with limited structural impact. This is my reference. Thank you for your attention in watching my presentation, and thank you for the opportunity.